I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. Do. To catch them is my real test. To train them is my cause. A live-action Pokemon movie. Didn't think I'd see this. So Detective Pikachu is a live-action CGI hybrid adaptation of a video game based in the same name, Detective Pikachu, and it tells the story of a 20-something-year-old man named Tim Goodman, who's played by Justice Smith, and he gets the tragic news that his father died in a mysterious accident. So he eventually goes to his father's house to gather up some memorabilia, and he discovers that a Pikachu was there. And it turns out this isn't any ordinary Pikachu. This Pikachu can actually talk, and he's voiced by Ryan Reynolds. But the twist is, Tim is the only one that can understand him. And it turns out this Pikachu was the last person to see his father alive, but his memories are gone. And so Tim and the Pikachu go on a journey to discover what happened to his father and what happened to his memories. And based on the very long storied history of video game properties becoming live action adaptations, you would think this movie would be terrible, right? Well, you would be wrong. I really enjoyed this movie. Before I get into the main review of the movie itself, I gotta say, when I first heard about this movie, even before the trailers dropped, and I think I mentioned this during my Sonic the Hedgehog trailer reaction, you can check that out if you're interested, but I was like, so they're doing a live action Detective Pikachu movie, and it's starring Ryan Reynolds. And not that I have anything against Ryan Reynolds, like I love Ryan Reynolds and I love the Deadpool movies, but I was like, what is this movie? And on top of that, like I mentioned before, more times than not, when they take a video game property and make it into a live action movie, it's terrible. So I thought this movie was going to be trash. But I was like, you know what? I'm gonna still check it out. I'm curious about it. And then they dropped the trailers. And I was like, wow, I'm actually really excited to see this movie now. So good job on the marketing team. I'm gonna assume that it was the same marketing team that did Deadpool, because the marketing for this movie was great. But yeah, get into the actual movie itself. Like, I didn't know what I was going to be in store for when this movie started. I was just hoping, I was like, please, trailers, do not disappoint me. I really want this movie to be good. And I feel like I got my wish, even starting from the opening scene with Tim speaking to his best friend, who's played by Karan Soni, who most people would know him as Dopinder from the Deadpool movies. And interestingly enough, he not only has a connection to Ryan Reynolds, but he also has a connection to the director, Rob Letterman, because he starred in Rob's previous movie, Goosebumps. But yeah, seeing the opening scene of this movie, and of course I won't go into specifics, but I was smiling from ear to ear, especially because I'm a Pokemon fan. And so with that said, like, if you are a Pokemon fan, like, this movie is definitely for you. Like, I've been playing Pokemon since the original Red, Blue, and Yellow, and I even owned, played, and beat Let's Go Pikachu for Nintendo Switch. Hell, it was the only reason I got a Nintendo Switch. Granted, I haven't played every single generation of Pokemon games, and I'm way more familiar with the original 151, which I think there are now like 800 plus Pokemon. I don't know all of those, but none of that really matters. And ultimately, I feel like if you aren't a big Pokemon fan but have a general knowledge of what Pokemon are, I kind of still feel like you would enjoy this movie. The only thing is, I feel like you wouldn't enjoy it or appreciate it as much as a Pokemon fan would. But yeah, speaking of the Pokemon, like, the CGI for this movie, and you could even tell from the trailers, like, they looked great. Like, looking at the Charizard, the Pikachu, the Bulbasaurs, like, seeing all the Pokemon in this world, it looked like a real world populated with these mystical pocket monsters. And it looked like a world that I would love to live in, because our world sucks and it's boring. I like Justin Smith's portrayal of Tim Goodman. The first time I saw Justin Smith was actually in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and his character annoyed the hell out of me. So I'm glad I didn't feel that way about Tim. And I mean, speaking of feeling differently about a character, like I mentioned before, I thought it was weird that they got Ryan Reynolds to be the voice of a Pikachu character, especially because we all know Ryan Reynolds' humor and the fact that he plays very successfully the character of Wade Wilson, Deadpool. And so even during the trailers, every time Ryan would speak as Pikachu, I keep expecting him to drop an F-bomb or say something crude. And yeah, he never does. But once you get through the movie and you pretty much get used to the fact that obviously he's not playing Deadpool, I really enjoy his portrayal of Pikachu. And there's something that happens between the relationship of Pikachu and Tim's character that I was like, huh, I really like that. I wasn't expecting that. The villain for this movie, I wasn't really feeling at all. This movie was about 1 hour and 44 minutes. I feel like this movie could have probably added another half an hour to maybe pad out the villain's storyline a little bit, because for the most part, you spend most of this movie with Tim and his Pikachu. You eventually meet a reporter played by Catherine Newton who is investigating the murder of Tim's father, and she has a sidekick Pokemon partners. And so you spend most of the movie with those four characters, and then suddenly you get this villain that's just tacked on, and I wasn't really feeling his story or motivation because, again, you didn't really get that much from him. And so I feel like, if anything, that was the biggest weakness of this movie. But just like all Pokemon have weaknesses, all movies have weaknesses, but the weaknesses of this movie didn't cause it to faint and go back into the Pokeball. Like I said, I really did enjoy this movie. I had a lot of fun. I love this world, and it's a world that I enjoy so much. I really hope it gets a sequel. I would say Pokemon Detective Pikachu made me pretty moist. And I would say it right here, best live action adaptation of a video game property ever. So have you seen Pokemon Detective Pikachu? What did you think about it? Are you a Pokemon fan? If you're not a Pokemon fan and you saw the movie, let me know what you thought about it. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Why or why not? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, please check out the description box. You'll see links to my social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and please follow me on there. And while you're at it, please give this video a thumbs up. It'll really help out the channel. And also, please check out the other videos on my channel. And if you like what you see, please subscribe for more and share my videos with your friends and your neighbors. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time.